Hello, and welcome to another installment of my favorite weekly program, Car Talk Thursday. And I deadass almost said Tuesday, got the name of my own thing wrong. But today is November 10th, I believe. Thursday, November 10th. Weather is actually looking really nice. It's got this nice, I don't want to say gloomy because it doesn't look depressed, but it's kind of like a bluish gray outside that I'm actually kind of really vibing with. I just hope it doesn't rain soon because I want to go for a walk. There's a couple things that happened over the past week or so. I still have a cough. Hopefully it doesn't rear its head throughout the recording, but it is still there. The first big thing is I played the Powerball this week. I did not win. I think I bought a total of like 4, maybe 5 tickets over the few days. And I think I matched one number one time. I mean, congrats to whoever won it. You are now like $2 billion richer, with taxes coming. And do I wish it had been me? Sure. But even as I was doing it, I was like, this is something where I feel like I owe it to myself to do. Because you know what? The odds of me winning are astronomically low. But there's still a chance. And I mean, what happens if I win? I could pay off my loans. I can buy the house. I can, hook up my family if they need it. I hook up my friends if they need it. Because I was like, that's not a life-changing amount of money. That's like a community-changing amount of money. That's like a generational, amount of money. And all I feel like I really need is like 100,000. Because that would take care of my loans. I'm good from here on out. So that's really what I was playing for. Now, as I said, did not win. And I'd kind of told myself, I was like, if I get the amount I want, I'm done. And if the thing ends, I'm done. Now, obviously, there'll be Powerballs in the future. And yeah, I'll probably be like, you know what, I'll buy a ticket or two. But I don't want to make this a regular thing. Like I've said, I love gambling. I love playing roulette with Billy on the ship. I love rolling gotcha. But I don't want it to really be something that I do all the time. I've seen people just, playing the slots and just sitting there, and yeah, it's the most miserable looking thing. I don't think I've ever known someone personally with a gambling addiction, but I've known people who have known people with gambling addictions. That's actually really fucking scary. And I don't want something like that to happen to me. So I don't mind a casual, I'm going to go to the casino with the guys and, play a few games. Or, yeah, I'll play the Powerball until it resolves. But I don't want to make it a regular thing. Couple other fun things that happened. So, it's Pokemon leak season. And leak season is just about done. Because, we've seen all the new Pokemon. I think all of the new abilities and moves have now been leaked, or at least the vast majority of them have. And the game comes out next Friday. Very looking forward to it. It's a Pokemon game. So for me, that translates into, I am going to drop everything and just play the shit out of it. Because that is what I love doing when these games come out. As for the new forms and the new mons we're getting, I know a lot of people are like, some of these don't even look like Pokemon. What the fuck am I even looking at? Man, some of these designs, were so interesting. And then you get their next form or evolution. You're like, what? What are they doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of fuck with this. I mean, it's not like they're all winners, but it's yeah, I like the starters. I like that Fuecoco, I mean, spoilers incoming, of course. But it looks like a giant crocodile pinata. Kind of dig that. And it's oh, okay, Quaxley turns into this dancer, and I'm kind of doing this because that's I don't think I've seen it in motion, but that kind of looks like what's going to be moving. It's is it kind of a break dancer? That's kind of cool. And the cat, okay, it turns into a stage magician. Oh, that's really interesting. I guess not something I was expecting, but I kind of dig it. I'm still going to go with Sprigatito because I decided, I'm picking Weed Cat because I usually pick grass starters. And, while I like all three, I feel like grass is still my favorite in this gen. It's I already committed anyway, so I'm doing it. Some of the others that really stood out to me is Gimme Gold for how interesting of a choice it is, but again, I still kind of like it. I do like the new Primeape. It looks pretty sick. I really like, I think it's called Iron Valiant, which is, so most of the Paradox forms, like, all right, you got your past forms, and then you got your future forms, which are, you know, Scarlet exclusive, Violet exclusive, respectively. So the Violet exclusives are all robots, so it's all like Iron something, because they're not actually the same name as the Pokemon. They have like their own unique dex numbers, unique names, all that shit. So Iron Valiant is a robot Gardevoir and a robot Gallade. Like, it looks like it's a combination of both, and its typing is Fairy and Fighting, which Fairy is Gardevoir's secondary type, Fighting is Gallade's secondary type. So like, oh, this actually is a combination of two Pokemon. That's kind of bonkers. And even that, like, I don't think that's a type we've ever gotten before. The new Magneton is like, oh yeah, this is Electric Ground. We've never gotten that before. Like, there's quite a few new, like, completely new typings. Some of the abilities are fucking bonkers. It's like, oh yeah, you got hit, you drop toxic spikes. What? That's crazy. Oh yeah, your body is made out of like pure wonderful gold. You can't be affected by status. What? Oh yeah, it's like when you sub into battle, you get a slight boost in your attack and special attack for every member of your team who is dead. Oh, okay, so this is your endgame sweeper. Like, what the hell? Some of the, like, the designs are kind of wild, for better or for worse, and I'm going to be honest, I like them. These abilities sound cracked as hell. Even some of the signature moves, I think it's, like, Quaxley's signature is like, oh yeah, you do damage, and I think it's like every time it gets stronger, so it's kind of like Fury Cutter, but I think Fury Cutter is a really weak, like, base 30 power or something. This one's base 70, you're like, oh, that's some strong shit. What do you do, Weed Cat? Oh, my thing always hits. Okay, that's not too bad. It's always a crit, too. What? A move that always crits? Like, I don't know if we've had one like that. Like, we've had moves with high crit rates, but this always crits. The fuck? I actually don't know what Fuecoco's signature move does. I don't know if I've, like, read it and I just didn't catch it, but new forms look solid for the most part. I like them. New abilities are cracked. Dunsparce finally got an evolution, and it's, I think the way I described it to Clay and Jose last night is, it's like in Smash Ultimate when it's like, why does King Dedede not transform with copy abilities? Because King Dedede is already perfect. That's what this is, because it's not like, oh man, they completely redesigned it, man, Dunsparce looks so cool now. It's like, no, they made Dunsparce a little bigger, and then he has like a little beard. That's it. And I'm on the one hand, like, I'm so disappointed. Because I love this Pokemon. I love how weird and goofy and kind of shitty it is. And I really wanted it to become something cool. But also, it's a meme Pokemon that got a meme evolution. And it's perfect as is. I kind of fucking love it. So, like, yeah, I'm interested to see its stats. Is it like, did it evolve and it's still trash? Like, it's a pure meme? Or it's like, no, it's actually a fucking monster, but it still just looks like Dunsparce. Oh, it's also called Dunsparce. Just for the extra dumb memeness of it, and I kinda love it. And I know I'm gonna want one in my party. I know Clay got God of War Ragnarok last night. I didn't watch him play it. Nothing against it. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed. I have not played any of the God of War, any of the God of War games. I know the old ones are supposed to be classic, and the new one was apparently phenomenal. What I think is really, 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 really cool, and I don't know if this was done on purpose with the release date, or if this was just a coincidence, but apparently, before Ragnarok, like in actual Norse mythology, it is like heralded by a blood moon. And like 2 days ago, like before the game came out, there was a blood moon. There was a lunar eclipse. I really wanted to see it. And I was like, oh, there's going to be a lunar eclipse tomorrow. Cool. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, when is the lunar eclipse? Oh, it happened. It was at 4 a.m. Well, even if I had known, I wouldn't have been able to see it, but well, that's just disappointing. But the fact that, you know, Ragnarok is heralded by a blood moon, and then God of War Ragnarok was also heralded by a blood moon, like, that's That's way too cool to not, like, to be a coincidence. They had to have known. They had to have, like, looked that up and been like, hey guys, okay, there's actually going to be a blood moon later this year. Should we just release the game, like, around November? I mean, it's November, it's holiday season. That makes sense anyway. So, like, that's so fucking cool. I hope it was on purpose. A couple other things to mention. So, I'm giggling because this is really stupid, but I have to bring it up. So, yesterday, I took a walk to Brahms. There's, like, a local fast food place, you know, like burgers and ice cream. That's really what they're known for. And they have some holiday flavors. Like, they've got, like, they have an eggnog flavor of ice cream. There's, like, a couple others I don't remember. I think one's, like, peppermint or some shit. But there was two that I wanted to try. And I was like, can I sample them? Yeah, sure. Gingerbread, which was quite good. I liked it. And hot chocolate. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is just wonderful. So I went to get a milkshake. So I got a hot chocolate milkshake. So as I'm walking back, and this is, like, I don't know, by foot, like 10 minutes from my house. So I'm walking back, just walking along, drinking my milkshake, got my headphones in as Holding Out for a Hero is playing, and as this incredible song, because I absolutely love it, and it's the original, it's not the Shrek 2 version, but both fucking slay. So as I'm, just walking down the street, sipping on my milkshake, listening to, like, one of the coolest, most hyped songs of all time, in my opinion, I'm just thinking to myself, you know, I probably look like just a regular dude. I might look like a complete dork, but I feel like such a badass, right? And as I'm just, like, thinking this, like, this is one of the most badass I've ever felt. I'm like, well, I'm such a freaking dork. And I had to share it. It's just, like, that mental image just really made me laugh. The only other thing I want to talk about, I'm not going to do a Trails video today, but I'm off tomorrow. So I want to record Cold Steel and then Cold Steel 2. So it sounds like I'm going in order from Azure, Cold Steel 2, but I don't want to do Cold Steel 3 next. I want to do Kuro. So yeah, it's not really going to be in order. It's just, which game do I feel like I want to talk about right now? I bet. Here we go. But what I do want to talk about is Monogatari. So I'm going to make this relatively quick, but we'll see what happens. So I've watched the entire first season, the Kizu movies, and about half of season 2. Bakemonogatari, I think, is quite good. I think it lays a solid foundation. Its presentation and its style, it's something I feel like if you like it, you get used to, and if you don't like it, the show is just not for you. And that's completely fair, completely fine. It's interesting, but I do enjoy it. I think, like, my favorite arc in Bake was the monkey arc. I thought it was really good, and I remember, like, the fight scenes were actually, like, really well animated. And there's not a lot of animation in Bake, so I appreciated it. Kizu, loved Kizu Monogatari. To me, that has been the highlight of the series so far. The animation is incredible. I really like Shinobu, which she's not called that in the movie, but, like, I think her personality is great. The scenes where they are on fire because vampires in the sunlight and the fight at the end of the third movie, those are the highlights. They looked absolutely incredible, and I loved watching them. I also really like the end credit song of the third movie. They're like Estelle Toi, I think it is. I just find myself listening to it quite a bit. I'm like, I vibe with this. I don't really know why, but I adore it. Let's see. Next is Nisei. I think Nisei overall is fine. I thought the B arc was really long and it kind of didn't go anywhere for a while. And then even when it did, I was like, okay, this is it. It's not bad. And then the Phoenix arc, I love the opening, Platinum Disco, which is a great name for an opening, and it just is really good. It also was the toothbrush scene, which I knew about going in, and as weird and cringy as I thought it was going to be, and it was hysterical. Like, Jose walked in on me watching it, and he heard me howling with laughter. So then after that, it's the shit show that is Nisei, for better and for worse. You get Neko Monogatari Black, and then it's the start, which I thought was fine. And then season 2 so far has been Neko Monogatari Shiro, which I also liked. You get, Kabuki Monogatari, And I don't remember what the one after is called. I know it starts with an O. It's like Oishi Monogatari. But it's the one with, it's the Medusa arc. Those are probably, aside from Kizu, to me, those two arcs back-to-back have been the highlights of the series. I think they're both fantastic for very different reasons. Kabuki, first off, I love the fact that Shinobu is a major character in it because I think she is my favorite character in the show. I love just her vibe, that very elegant, kind of talking down to everyone, not afraid to talk shit, not afraid to just metaphorically rip someone apart, but as we see in Kizu, also literally, there's a scene in Kizu where she's a vampire. And so normally, like, okay, a vampire, like, you know, they feast on people, you know, you bite, you suck, that's it. You actually see her just devouring a person, like, you know, ripping into them, like, eating his heart and whatnot. And I'm like, you know, this is normally something I see from zombies. I don't see this very often from vampires. But I kind of dig it. I like how feral it is. Which also leads to part of the conflict of the movie, where he's like, you're my friend, and I want to make sure you're in a good place, but that's right, you're a vampire, you kill people. Oh, helping you is not a good thing. Which, you know, leads to other stuff, and again, I really, really like the movie. And so this focuses on Shinobu as well as Araragi. Literally, the plot is he's like, oh shit, I didn't finish my summer homework. I wish we could time travel. And Shinobu going, you know, I've never done it before, but we can probably time travel. I'm like, okay, I guess this is a thing. So they do. They end up going 11 years in the past. They realize when they are, and he's like, oh, I have a friend who died about 11 years ago and became a ghost. I can save her life. And, you know, best case scenario, she gets to live the rest of her life. Worst case scenario, it ultimately doesn't matter, but I tried my best, and maybe she doesn't become a ghost anymore. So they do that, go back to the future, and kind of like Back to the Future Part 2, realize, oh, we kind of fucked up because a bunch of shit. But short version, that person being a ghost was really, really important, and sorry, I was about to say what I was about to say, realize how fucking insane it sounded, and then also got tongue-tied all at the same time. That person being a ghost was crucial to preventing an apocalypse. Mostly because, like, they were in the right place at the right time and was able to talk to someone who needed to, like, hear them and, like, have a conversation with them. And it's like, oh, without that, that other person ended up going completely buttfuck crazy and, like, went on a rampage and the world pretty much ended. What? Monogatari, it's absolutely wild. And so on top of that, you get the fact that, you know, the person she was supposed to stop was Shinobu, and you get a scene of current Shinobu talking to another version of herself where they are literally crying blood, both of them. It's like, that's a really just beautiful image. As kind of weird and dark as that is to say, it's like, wow, that just looks pretty. I think it's, and it's not the only arc where this happens, but there's times when, like, Shinobu will be talking and the whole scene will just kind of go red. And not that just like, oh yeah, they flash red on the screen because they do that, but like, it's kind of like in JoJo, how these are the colors, but the colors can also change just depending on whatever they think looks best. And I really like that, especially when it will just go red. But on top of that, you also get to see the ghost girl all grown up, and it's really, really sweet. And it's, I remember I was talking to my buddy about it, like one of the guys that got me into the series, and he's like, yeah, like I felt really emotional seeing that scene, just like seeing the potential there, like what she could have become, and like realizing that, yes, in this world, she was able to live a full life, something she never got a chance to do in the actual timeline. It's like, yeah, that's just really sad. But, and then, you know, they go back to the timeline where she is a ghost, and you get a nice scene between her and Araragi where they kind of have a role reversal of how they usually interact. And she's also like, yeah, like, I don't mind the fact that I became a ghost. Did I die young? Yeah, that sucks. Did I die unfulfilled? Yeah, that sucks. But I got to meet you, and you're a really good friend of mine, so it's okay. And then Aragi's like, you know, I'm kind of glad we had this experience. I'm glad that you're my friend, too. Oh, shit, I still didn't do my homework. And then you could just hear the Seinfeld bass cutting in after that. I was like, that is such a good ending to this arc. Then you get the next one. So, at this point in the show, Sengoku has had one arc, and then she had like an episode, or like a scene in an episode or two of the Karen B arc. I'm like, I don't like her. I don't dislike her. She's just creepy. And not fun, like, deranged child creepy, but like, no, you really are thirsty for the main character, and you're like 4 years younger than him, which is not awful, but also you're 14, and sometimes it seems like the camera forgets that, and just, you make me uncomfortable a lot of the times you're on screen. This arc, she went completely bonkers and just snapped as a character, went full yandere, and it was honestly a blast to watch. Especially in like the last episode, where you realize how much of an unreliable narrator she is, which is something that I feel like the show does play on at times. Like, I don't think Ararage is super unreliable, but there's moments like when he's fighting Karen in the first arc of Nisa, in the B arc, where, you know, he's getting kicked around everywhere like it's a freaking Dragon Ball scene, and you're like, this isn't actually happening, right? Like, his sister is strong, but she's not this strong. This is clearly being played up. And, like, there's kind of moments like that, like in, I think it's the NECA White arc, just scenes are being skipped, and it's supposed to be like, yeah, these are the scenes where the other personality has come out, but we're just not showing that part yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool that there's, like, these gaps in the main character's knowledge. This revealed that, oh yeah, like the first 3/4 of this arc, you were under a delusion. And it's not like you were hypnotized or anything. You were just so insane. You convinced yourself that, like, all this other crap was happening. You fabricated a plan to become a god, so you would have the power to get the guy you wanted. But because, like, you realized you would be a terrible person, and you still wanted to be able to play the victim, you made up a fake backstory in your head, made up a separate personality that was talking to you that only you could hear, that was convincing you that you had to do these things, and victimized you, because that's just the person you are. You want to be weak, you want to be the victim, and you want people to, like, feel sorry for you. But not anymore, because now you're a snake god, and boy oh boy are you fucking crazy. It was really fun to watch, it was really interesting to watch. It also has Muso Express, which is, so that's the opening. It was unsettling. Like, it's not something like when you look at the imagery, you're like, oh man, this is terrifying, or you listen to the song, you're like, this is terrifying. But it just gave me chills. It just gave me this sense that, like, something's not right. Something here is off, and it's creepy. But now that the show is fully embracing that, yes, this character is nuts, and she is creepy, I found myself being able to enjoy her and her screen time a lot more. And so the storyline didn't actually quite resolve, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if it does resolve in a later arc. But I've been having a blast with it so far. I think the next arc is a Kanbaru arc, and I tend to like her. I think she's a fun character. My favorite openings so far have been, not in any particular order, but Muso Express, Platinum Disco, and Renai Circulation. The fact that Sengoku has 2 of my 3 favorite openings, and when you listen or watch them back to back, and you're like, oh yeah, this one's really sweet, very bubbly. It's like, yeah, like I'm a young girl in love, and it's the greatest thing. And then the other one, which is, I'm in love, I'm not gonna win, and I'm not happy with that, and I am gonna do everything in my power to fix that, and you're going to be mine. I'm like, oh, this is great, but also what? Like, I was actually getting, like, at the end of the song, she goes, Doki Doki, which also creepy as hell, but I was like, oh man, yeah, this is giving me Doki Doki Literature Club vibes. There was a couple points where I just kind of said to myself, I was like, alright, just Monica, just Monica. But so at this point, Monogatari is definitely getting darker, so I'm going to end this, but Monogatari It's been a lot of fun. I am very much enjoying it. And I think that's all I have to say. So hopefully I'll be able to record. Oh, no, I was going to say something else. The Saints fucking suck. That is my team. Oh, I was going to go on a full rant. Okay, so I'll try to keep it short. I love my team. We look like shit. The fact that we don't have a first-round pick, definitely upsetting, because I can't even look forward to the future of like, yeah, but we're going to get like a really good quarterback. We're going to get like a really good defender or anything. Like, no, the Eagles might win the Super Bowl and then get like a top 5 draft pick. That sucks. The fact that the division is ass and we have a chance to make the playoffs somehow makes this worse, because even though we're bad, I now have hope. Because, like, well, there's a chance we can make the playoffs because we're only, like, a game or two out and we still, like, play everyone else once. Yay, there's hope, but also, oh, there's hope. Like, I can't just give up and say, well, the season's a wash. Let me, like, disenfranchise myself for the next few weeks and then just enjoy other games and be able to watch football and be like, yeah, I'm enjoying the other storylines. My team sucks, but it is what it is. I still have to be invested, and, the fact that theoretically this team could make the playoffs, and when you make the playoffs, anything can happen, so they could win the Super Bowl. Not gonna happen, they're ass. But the fact that they could bothers me. Like, this, what I have seen these first, 8-9 weeks, this is not a team that deserves to win a championship. And I hate saying that about my own team, because, like, for the last, 6 years, it's like, all right, this is our year. We're going to get it together. This is our year. We're going to get it together. Going into this year, it's like, this is our year. You know, the defense is really good. You know, we got a lot of pieces on offense. We're going to be great. We're going to have so much fun. And if this team were to win a Super Bowl, I would just look at some of the ones of, the last 10 years and be like, what? Why wasn't it this one? Why not the 2011 team that was breaking offensive records and was absolutely crazy? What about 2017? I think it was 2017 was the Minneapolis Miracle, where it's we're back after several years of mediocrity and it felt so good. Or the 2018 team, which was fucking crazy and so good, and then we get robbed in the playoffs. Or, I mean, the next year was still all right, maybe this is our year, 2 shitty years in a row. It surely can't happen again. And oh boy, that wasn't even we got screwed over, although that was a push off by Kyle Rudolph. I will not deny that. But that was also, we just played like shit the entire playoff game. We kind of deserved to lose it, as much as I hate to say it. But it's man, if we win, I'm super happy. But I hate that I have to keep staying invested. I can't just give up on the season because there's still hope. And even if we win, it's why was it this one and not one of the better ones? I feel so dirty saying that and thinking that, but it's how I feel. And I think other Saints fans kind of feel similar. Man, we fucking suck right now. Maybe it's the coach, maybe it's the play calling, it's probably both. Who knows what the fuck the problem is? And the fact that we don't have a first round pick is ass. And the fact that we technically have hope kind of somehow makes it worse. Anyways, that's Car Talk Thursday. I say in the freaking dark. I probably should have turned this on a while ago. But anyways, bye.